ladies and gentlemen. This is MazeBoy91, and today I would like to talk about the subject of retro video games and should you buy retro video games in 2024? So, the first thing to start off with is where do you even start? You see all these YouTubers with these big, vast collections behind them, these shelves, just massive collections. Where do you even start? First things first, you don't always have to start with a retro console. Some people say, oh, start with the NES, that's the greatest console of all time. Start with the PS2, that's the greatest console of all time. What if you've never even touched those consoles? What if you've never even played those games? Just because someone else likes that console doesn't mean you're going to like it. Start with what you have. Let's say you have an Xbox One. You've grown up with Microsoft and Xbox, and you have an Xbox One right now. Start with that system. There are plenty of cheap Xbox One games out there that you can start collecting that aren't going to break the bank. So start with what you have. You do not have to go out of the way to buy a console you may not even like. So let's say you're starting to buy some games, you're starting to get into collecting, you're playing a vast majority of games. Now you really do want to start dipping your toes into retro games. And again, where do you even start? Now, unfortunately, with some retro consoles, they're going to be expensive. A lot of them are going to be expensive. And let's say you're not making much money right now and you haven't really set aside a budget. So start off with asking family members, hey, go to your grandma's house. Do you have a game console that you're not using that I can maybe borrow? For example, my Uncle John let me borrow his Super Nintendo back in the day, and I got a taste of what the Super Nintendo was. And I thought it was awesome. There was Super Mario, there was Mario Paint. I love those games. I was heartbroken when he wanted it back, but I got a taste of it anyways, which made me say, I'm going to get a Super Nintendo someday. So, again, ask your grandparents if they have like a Wii system they're not using, maybe an Atari. Ask your uncle, ask your nephews, or something, just so you can start off with something. And you can also go online trying to find a deal, maybe go to a garage sale. You really do have to go to the garage sales early because there's other collectors out there that go first thing, and usually they are gone within the first hour. So you're going to have to get up early if you do garage sales. So I mentioned it a little earlier, a budget. Game consoles are expensive. A lot of them are expensive. So don't go into credit card debt buying retro consoles because at the end, it's not worth it. It's like, I really want to buy this game console, but I kind of need to pay for my electric and my gas. Set aside a budget. Let's say you're starting out, set $10 aside each paycheck or $20 aside each paycheck. And when you get to a certain point where you got enough, go ahead and buy the console. Don't break yourself. And I also mentioned, go online. You might be able to find some deals. A lot of people don't know what they have, so they put ungodly prices on stuff. So you really have to search. And again, garage sales are a good place to start too for budget-friendly options. Make sure you ask them to test the system out first. And if they don't want to test it, I would avoid that person. So, you start collecting for retro consoles, you're collecting for modern consoles. You feel pretty good. You bought your first bookshelf to start filling your shelf up. Got a couple of consoles under your belt. This is awesome. Should you continue? That's up to you. If there are plenty of other consoles that you want, go ahead and continue collecting. If you're happy with what you have, you can stop. Me personally, I collect a variety of everything because I want to play a vast majority of different games from different consoles. Me personally, I realize there's a lot of games out there that I really like that I didn't even know existed, so I continue collecting. Am I collecting as hardcore as I used to? No, but it doesn't really matter what I say. If you're happy with what you have, stick with it. If you want to collect a variety, go ahead and do it. So, I think that's pretty much all I want to cover. I try to keep this short and simple. If you enjoy this, give the video a like, maybe subscribe to the channel. This is Mazeboy91 signing out, and you have a good day.